said, it's part 9 of the 12-part 2016 Kane opponent video series. Today we're going to talk about the said Pittsburgh Panthers, that team that comes to Sun Life on November 5th. Well, Pittsburgh, Narduzzi's back for his second year as head coach, and you know what you're going to see from him. Tough defense and a physical running game. Now, we did not have to deal with James Conner last year. We will this year, though. That's the NFL. This is the Pittsburgh Panthers in college, okay? But you're right, the Steelers is the team in the NFL, but we're talking about the Pittsburgh Panthers. Ain't no problem. Hey, it's okay. Hey, it happens. It happens. It does happen. It happens. But now, back to Pittsburgh Panthers. They returned 16 of their 22 starters from the 8-5 team in 2015. And one of those starters back, as I said, is James Conner. Beating Hodgkins, that's a win right there, okay? But he's also coming back after a knee injury. But 2 years ago, he ran for 1,765 yards and 26 touchdowns. And he was ACC Player of the Year. But the key, like I said, he's cancer-free, okay? And that guy is a load, and we're going to have to deal with him. No, Hodgkins is a disease, okay? Hodgkins is a disease. That's a form of cancer, okay? That's a form of cancer. And he beat that disease. I'm talking James Conner. He beat that disease, okay? Now, last season, without Conner, they had Quadri Olson. Yeah, you're right. He needs to be careful. But hey, I'm talking from a football perspective. Yes, he's a load. Conner's a load. But I'm talking without him. They had Quadri Olson, who was the hammer of that offense, and he's the exact same size as Conner, 6'2", 230. And he ran for 1,121 yards and 11 TDs last season. And they ran 509 times. Now, between Olsen and Conner, they'll win the battle of possession easily. And these guys are just, you don't get a rest when you get those two in the backfield. It's like they pound you and they pound you and they pound you. That's a thing. That's Pittsburgh football. They pound you and they pound you and they pound you. Now, when I look at this here, defense, that's their MO. Now, you see the spread defenses, 40 and spread, etc. The pass. Pittsburgh, it's very simple. They just give Conner and Olsen the ball, and that's what they do. And you're going to see a big dose of power football from them. Now, Nathan Peterman's their quarterback. He's like a game manager. 2287 in yards passing, 20 touchdowns, 8 picks. If he plays smart, they'll be all right. They'll be fine. Now, when I look at this team, when you see Pitt football with Narduzzi, you're seeing two key things here. Okay? One, you're seeing them run the ball. You're seeing them pound the rock. And that's what Pittsburgh does very, very well. They pound the rock. I'll tell you, if they keep running the ball, this is a team I wouldn't want to have to face in Charlotte if I'm FSU or Clemson. Okay? Now, all that said about Pittsburgh, I got to look at it this way. As for our game against them on the 5th of November, from McCain's perspective. That avocado's going to be the tough challenge. How will Manny's defense do against Conner and Allison? Hey, Tampa, what's going on? Good to see you. Down here on the island of Puerto Rico till Saturday. That's where I'm doing my previews from this year. Now, in this ball game, as good as Conner and Allison are, they're not going to be able to get it rolling against Manny's defense and will be another one. We'll come into this game. We'll come into this game after I predict a tough loss against Notre Dame. And we're going to be in for a fight. Let's make no mistake right now. This will be very physical when Pittsburgh comes to Sun Life on November 5th. But if you like good defense, this might be the game for us to be in. And I got a feeling this could come down to a couple plays late. Because Pittsburgh is a very tough team and they're very physical. So let's make no mistake about it. Our defense is going to be in for a real tough fight against the Pittsburgh Panthers on November 5th. Yeah, that's going to be the question, Avocado. Which team is grittier? Which team will be the more grittier in this game? Which team? That's the question. Where do you pick it? Where do you go? Where do you go? Avocado, I think after I predict a tough loss up in South Bend the week before, Rick's going to want to get this team back on track. Now, in the past, we all know in the past, with an Al team, this team would have folded the tent already. This team would have folded the tent already. But with Rick, I don't see that happening anymore, with Rick running the show. Okay, so now when I look at them, Narduzzi's a time. What Narduzzi, you're getting a tough defense. Some on the Canes board wanted Narduzzi to be the head coach once upon a time. But I really feel at the end, let's make no mistake. When I watch Pittsburgh, I know what you're getting. You're going to be getting a physical running game, and you're going to be getting a very tough defense with Narduzzi. And they go to Oklahoma State September 17th. So that's where I'm going to know about the Pitt Panthers. We're going to know about them really after that game where they stand. Now, let me tell you, that offensive line of Pittsburgh averages 314 pounds. Okay? They're very physical. They run the pro set. They don't. This is a team that says, hey, you're not going to get into anything fancy with Pittsburgh. What you're going to get with them is physical running, a pounding offensive line, and a team that's just going to ram it down your throat. That's what we're going to see. Now, will Manny's defense step up in this game? I really believe the answer is yes, we will. Yes, we will. Now, Brad Kaya. I think our offense, and you know what Narduzzi's going to bring. He's going to bring the blitz. He's going to bring a lot. He's going to play a lot of bump and run. We're going to see a lot of that. I got to see Gus. I got to see the running backs really get going in this game. And Brad Kaya try to open up the vertical game with play actions. And it all starts with the running game. It starts with the running game. And if we do that, I think we win this game. And I really believe we will win this game. But it will be very physical. Now, the passing game is not really that much. It's very, very, manage the game. Manage the game. But you're right. I do expect us to try to crowd the box with trying to stop the run. Because that's what Pittsburgh's going to do. First and foremost, they will try and stop the run. That's going to be their MO. And remember, Pittsburgh also has Penn State at home. So that's where those two games are really going to tell me where Pitt stands going into 16. Okay, that tells me where they go at this point. So really at this point, I just don't know. I just don't know. But I'll know more about Pittsburgh after those two games. But I want to see. But somebody mentioned their defense. I think you mentioned it. I mentioned the defense. Now, Narduzzi's D was good last year. They were 16th nationally in sacks per game at 285. So protecting Brad Kaya is going to be critical. and they returned 3 of those turnovers for TDs. But they have a senior DN in Ejuan Price, who's very explosive off the edge. Last season, he had 19.5 tackles for loss and 11.5 sacks. And joining Price will be senior Shakir Soto and Tyreek Jarrett. And that front four is going to give our offensive line a very good test in this game. And they have a strong safety on the back end in Jordan Whitehead. Now, last season he had 109 tackles. He was Defensive Rookie of the Year. But now, let me tell you something. That's the kind of guy we got to be careful trying to make sure we know where he is. We got to know where he is. But now, I look at this matchup, and I think to myself, you know, we manage the game, we don't beat ourselves, Kane should win this game pretty much going away. But it will not be an easy. It'll be tough for about, I say, 2.5 to 3 to maybe 3 quarters. I think it's going to be one of those games where in the fourth quarter we're going to be really tested this year. Score prediction around Avocado. I'm going to say this. I'm going to go Canes. Canes 27. Pittsburgh 24. 27-24 Canes. It's going to be one of those games that comes down to the end. Where a player or two decides it. You know, that's the way I look at it. Oh yeah, I love those nail biters. I think this is one of those. It's going to be a very physical ball game. It's going to be a very physical ball game. We have to be gritty. There's no doubt. We have to be, because you know what you're getting from Pittsburgh. You know what you're getting from our Narduzzi defense. And think about this. Pittsburgh has Penn State at home early, and they go to Stillwater and Carolina. So those 3 games are going to be where we know where Pitt is. Okay? That's where I'm going to know where Pitt is after that game and know what we'll be facing. And they go to Clemson later in the year. I'm sure Avocado Rick has already done that. He's looked at the schedule. I think down the road you're going to see that. But I think it's tough. It's going to be physical. We know what we're going to be facing. And Pittsburgh is very, very tough defensively. If you've seen Narduzzi defenses in East Lansing over the years and at Pitt last year, you're going to know that Narduzzi defenses are very, very tough defensively. Very tough. Very tough. So, that's going to be it for tonight. Puerto Rico's nice, but I'll talk more about that, Avocado, at the end of the series. But tonight, that's going to be it for tonight. Tomorrow night, I will go to part 10 of the series, and we will talk about the Virginia Cavaliers, our opponent on November 12th, up in Charlottesville, Virginia. Take care, good night, and God bless.